Hey folks, welcome. My name is Emily and this is kind of Gently Chaotic Knits, which is generally a video podcast series where I talk about what I am knitting and sometimes some other crafting like spinning or sewing or crochet. Today I'm actually going to be talking primarily about spinning. This is not a usual project update video. I'm not actually really sure what this is. I am starting something a little bit new. I have the desire to go, to talk a little bit more deeper, I guess, about some of my projects, especially projects that start with hand spun yarn. So projects where I am spinning the yarn and then I am knitting it into a project. I want to just kind of show more of that process and also just talk more about it. So I decided to start with some yarn I'm spinning and knitting right now. And I don't have this completely planned out. Honestly, I haven't really taken notes for this. I am recording in a location that is very bright right now because it's the afternoon and I guess this is a west-facing window. So it is very bright and the blinds are pulled down and it's still very bright. But this is where I wanted to record this because this is where my wheel is and I'm maybe gonna get in there a little bit, and this is just where all my things are, and I just felt like sitting on the floor, and this is the best floor area that I have for right now. So we're just gonna go for it, and I'm sorry if the light is weird and if I'm kind of glowing, but that could be fun too. Anyway, I am gonna do what I think I'll call like a deep dive. And today's deep dive, or I guess not just today, but this video's deep dive is gonna be about the fiber that I am spinning from Yarn Jam, which I have a full braid of here to show you. So this is the fiber. This is one braid of the fiber. I've actually already spun some of the fiber that I wanted to talk about, so maybe I'm jumping in kind of in the middle here, but I still have more to spin. So I thought I would kind of talk about all parts of the process. So from making the decision for how I want to spin it and what I want to spin it for, to separating the fiber and prepping the fiber for spinning, to spinning the fiber, and then to, of course, knitting it, finishing the yarn, I guess, and then knitting it. So I already have some of this fiber that I've already spun and that I'm actually currently knitting into a project. So this is my already exists yarn that I've already spun. It's actually a little bit different. So let me just take a complete step back to the very beginning and talk about the fiber. So this fiber is part of Yarn Jam's podcaster collection, which I think the hope is that I will be publishing this video on Thursday and the podcaster collection will be going live on Friday, September 6th. So if you're watching this the day that the video is posted, then you can purchase some of this fiber as well if you would like tomorrow. And I actually have a discount code for it if you want to purchase the fiber. So I'm gonna actually put that on the screen here. The discount code is Gently Chaotic Knits, and all caps. And so I'll put the code on the screen and also I'll put it below in the description box. So if you want to buy any fiber from the podcaster collection, whether it's my colorway or someone else's colorway, you can use this discount code at checkout and you'll get, I think it's 15% off your order. So love that. That's very fun. But anyway, I know I've talked about this in my normal project update videos as well, but Trisha selected some of her favorite knitting and spinning YouTubers, and it made a fiber colorway that was inspired by each one of them. And I was lucky enough to be selected by Trisha and to collaborate with her on this project. So she made a Gently Chaotic Knits colorway, which is this here. And it is available on 2 fiber bases. So the first is this base that I have in my hands right now. It is just plain Shanico, which is Shanico is a breed of sheep, which is a cross between Merino and Rambouillet. So it is the most lovely fiber. I can't even tell you how much I love it. And I have 2 braids of this colorway. So the colorway, again, is Gently Chaotic Knits. And I have 2 braids of this. And then I also received 2 braids of the same colorway on a different base, the Shanico Tweed base, which I don't have the braid anymore because I already spun it, but I'll put a picture up here of the braid, the tweed braid. And this is what the tweed looks like spun up because I've already spun it. So it basically just has these rainbow, they're red, blue, yellow, and green flecks in the fiber that actually go beautifully well with this colorway. So absolutely love that. So I originally was planning, so I guess that's the fiber. So to begin this project, I had 2 braids of the Shanico, 2 braids of the Shanico Tweed, same colorway. Originally, when I got the fiber, my plan was to spin them together. So to spin a 2-ply with 1 single of the tweed and 1 single of the not tweed. But after I started spinning my singles for the tweed, so for some reason I decided to start spinning my singles with the tweed, but when I started spinning my singles for the tweed, I was still of the mindset that I was going to be doing 1 ply of tweed, 1 ply of not tweed, and ply them together. However, once I started spinning the tweed, I got this feeling, I don't know, that I really wanted the tweed to live by itself and to do the not tweed separately in a separate yarn for a separate project. I also got the idea that I wanted to use some of this yarn as a contrast color in the Tesselated Pullover, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry that uses 3 yarns. Actually, there's like a main color, there's a contrast color, which is, I think she uses Spin Cycle, which anytime you see Spin Cycle in a project, my mind is like, hand spun? That could be fun because you can just get that same kind of color changing effect with your hand spun. That's what the Spin Cycle, I think, kind of mimics as well. So anyway, I thought I would like to spin some of this yarn. I thought would be lovely in a Tesselated pullover or cardigan or vest or whatever, but I think I want to do the pullover. So anyway, it was actually in the middle of when I was spinning this that I was thinking, oh, I kind of want to change things up and I maybe want to spin some of my fiber for the Tesselated pullover. I did decide that I thought I wanted the not color or the not tweed version to be in the Tesselated pullover. So at that point, I was in the middle of spinning the tweed. I thought I'll just finish spinning the tweed and then I'll use it for a different project. So do the tweed first and then do the not tweed second. So I finished spinning the tweed and I cast on a Autumn Tails shawl by Ozetta. And I shared this in my last project update video as well. And this is in the exact same state as it was in that video. I have not made any progress since then. But this is, so this is the tweed knit up in the Autumn Tail shawl. I did make a slight modification. The edging is slightly different than the pattern calls for. I did just I-cord edging on the sides rather than, I think it just has a slip stitch edge in the pattern and then you do an applied edging afterward, but I am just doing an I-cord edge so I don't have to go back and do anything at the end. So this is in progress, this project, and I'm getting ready today to divide my fiber and get started spinning for the Tesselated project. So first I was going to talk about how I split up and spun this yarn, and then we'll get into actually doing the splitting and preparing to spin this fiber. So for the tweed, I wasn't quite sure what project I was going to be making with this, because remember at the beginning, I was originally planning to ply the tweed with the not tweed. So when dividing my fiber, I didn't really have a goal project in mind. And you can kind of do either way. I mean, I think different spinners have different preferences. Some people really like to have a project in mind when they're spinning, and some people like to just spin the yarn and then pick a project to knit for later. I tend to prefer to spin my yarn for a specific purpose with a knit in mind, but with the exception of like if I'm practicing or something like that. If I'm just like, oh, I wanted to try long draw, or I wanted to do this or whatever, then I'll just go ahead and spin it and then decide if I'm gonna knit it into something later. But for this, I wasn't sure, but I knew I wanted to go ahead and start spinning this yarn because the fiber is gonna be available soon, and I wanted to make sure that I spun some up so that you all would have an idea of like what this yarn looks like if you spin it before it was available for purchase. So I decided that with the colors in the braid that it might be nice for it to be really blendy. And the way that I approached that was in dividing my fiber into lots of small pieces. So I wanted to imitate kind of like a fractal spin, and again, I'm not an expert about all these things, so I'm just going to talk about my understanding of how these things work and also what I did, but there are probably lots of better resources to learn about spinning and color management techniques and all that kind of stuff. But I was hoping to spin this fiber somewhat like a fractal, and I had 2 braids of it. So what I did was I took one braid and I divided it into 4 even pieces. Each piece, I split the braid vertically. So each piece was about 1 ounce. So if you think about it, and actually I can show you on this one because I'm about to divide it, and I'm actually about to divide this one into 4 pieces too. So I can kind of show you exactly what I'm talking about. If I can get my label off. I don't want to rip it right through my name. Maybe I'll just try to scoot it off the side. Oh, I kind of ripped it. Whoops. Okay. So, first things first, we have to unbraid it. Look at how beautiful that is. Wow. So pretty. I feel like it's perfect for fall too, especially the red and the gold. So I'm just unbraiding this before I get ready to divide it. But the basic idea is I am taking my fiber, I'm splitting it into even pieces vertically, and then you have to be a little bit careful here. What I do is I actually roll each piece of fiber up into a little ball, and I try to make sure that the same end of the fiber is on the inside of the ball for each of the 4 pieces. So then you spin each piece of fiber end to end. So try to start at the same end that you did, like on all of them, so that the colors line up, if that makes sense. So you spin each one of them end to end, and then you're done and you get ready to ply with your other single. So here's my fiber now, is all in one long piece, right? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is try to divide it into 4 even pieces. So what I did for the other one, for this one, is I did 1 braid into 4 pieces, and I did 1 braid into 8 pieces. So each piece was ½ ounce because these are 4 ounce braids. So I spun up 1 single, which was 8 lengths of the fiber, but they're all really skinny. And then I spun up another bobbin, a separate single, which was 1 braid split into 4 long pieces that were not as skinny, but still skinny as the 8. And I think people sometimes would call that like a 4/8 fractal, But what I don't know, and someone can tell me if they know, is does it count if it comes from two separate braids? Like, is it still technically a fractal? And do you still call it like a 4/8 fractal? I'm not really sure. But because when I think about spinning a fractal, I think about doing it from one braid, which is not what I'm doing now, and I'm not going to try to talk about that because that's not what this is, and I don't want to be confusing. But anyway, yes, that one I did 4 and 8 for the 2 braids. This one, for the Tesselated, I want to do a fractal again because, and I didn't really talk about why I chose to do a fractal. This is another thing that you can probably find better resources elsewhere, but a fractal spin really just gives these really beautiful color changes throughout your knit, but it still gives you that color play where it's not the exact same colors lined up every time. So if I had just taken the 2 braids and I just spun them without doing any fiber prep, if I just spun kind of back and forth across the top of the fiber and just spun it all the way down, if they had been dyed in exactly the same way, then a lot of the same colors would just line up and it would look like stripes almost, is my understanding. Or you can get that effect also if you do a chain ply, but that's kind of a separate thing. But anyway, the fractal, because one of your bobbins, if you're doing a 2-ply, you can do 3-ply, 4-ply fractals, whatever. But right now I'm just talking about doing a 2-ply fractal. One of your bobbins is moving through the color a lot more quickly, and the other one is moving through the color a lot more slowly. So if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because on one of the bobbins, you have 8 pieces of fiber, and each one is skinnier. So you're going through each little bit of color much more quickly. And you have the same amount of fiber, but you're doing 8 color repeats, like kind of through the whole braid, whereas the other one you're doing 4, and it's the same number, like the same amount of fiber. So hopefully that kind of makes sense why it's one single is going through the color more quickly and the other single is going through it more slowly. So when you ply them together, you get this really cool effect where there's like a larger color striping almost, but then you still have really cool combinations of each of the other colors mixing with that. So it gives this like barber pole marled stripey effect almost, which I think is what we think of when we think of hand spun often, because that's what spin cycle does. And I think spinning your fiber in a fractal is a really common and popular way to spin your fiber, especially hand-dyed fiber that has color changes like this, where you're moving from one color to the next. So anyway, I'm not sure if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that's helpful, but I just wanted to at least talk about that a little bit before I do this. So for the Tesselated, I wanted that same color changing fractal spin, but I wanted to do slower color changes. So rather than taking one braid and dividing it into 4 pieces and the other braid and dividing it into 8 pieces, I wanted to do a 2-4. So I took one braid and divided it into 2 pieces, and I'm gonna take the other braid and divide it into 4 pieces. So it's a slower kind of color change. So I actually already divided my first braid. I did this just when I had my scale out the other day. And so I had a braid that I just split into 2 pieces. So you can see this looks skinnier. This is one of my 2 balls that I already divided. And this is well, actually it doesn't look that much skinnier here. Maybe I'll do a different part. I don't know if you can really tell. This one is like twice as thick as this one. Maybe if I pull it tight, you can see the difference. This one is skinnier. Anyway, I already divided that braid. I already have these 2 balls. So this is my first 4 ounces. Each of these balls is 2 ounces, and each one of them is half of the width of the fiber braid. So I'm gonna prep the rest of my fiber by taking this other braid and dividing it into 4 pieces, and I'm splitting it vertically. So I don't know if there's like tips and tricks for how to do this, or if different people do it different ways. I don't know, but I'm just gonna show you how I do it. So maybe I'll scoot a little bit back so that you can see all of me. And I know that it doesn't really matter, but I do have my scale, and I use my colander to put the fiber in. But I get my scale out so that I can check and see how well I did at dividing the fiber evenly. And sometimes I will, if it's like really off, I'll take some pieces from one section and put them in with another. But okay, so how I'm gonna do this to start is I'm first gonna divide the braid in half, and then I'm gonna divide each of those halves in half again. So that will make 4 pieces. So first, my goal is just to try to split this braid in half. So all I'm doing is just taking the fiber and like pulling it apart and trying to do it roughly in half. So then you just do this all the way down. And it's already kind of not wanting to split on the part that I split it on, but that's okay. Okay, so those are my 2 halves. Now I'm going to put each of them in my scale to see how well I did. So if I put the whole thing in, it should be 4 ounces. It's 114 grams, or yeah, 4 ounces. So if I take 1 out, this one is 1 7/8 ounces, and this one presumably is 2 1/8. Yeah. So I wasn't perfect, but it's close enough. This one is slightly bigger than this one, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter. So now I'm just going to divide each of these in half again. That one wants to go with that part. These are definitely not even. Like this one is gonna be bigger. Come on. Let's see if I can kind of get more for this end part. Okay, so now this one should be about 1 ounce. It's 5/8. Whew. And this one is 1 1/8. So now I have to decide if I want to try to like pull pieces off of this one. I don't know if this is something that people really do, but I have to decide if I want to kind of pull pieces off. There's this part that is kind of already separate, so I may pull this part off. Oh, I wasn't showing you, so you may not have been able to see that. There was a part that kind of was separate anyway, so I kind of pulled that off, and I'll just try to line it up with the part of this one that is the same color. This was this end, I think. Or was it this end? Yeah, this end. Okay. This one, I think it kind of lines up here. Yeah, that's kind of right. Okay, anyway, that's good enough. So now I want to make sure that I roll these 2 pieces up the same way. So one of my ends has a really big yellow section and one of my ends has a small yellow section. So I'm going to put the small yellow section on the inside, and I'm just going to roll these up into balls. So that should mean for all 4 pieces of fiber, I should be spinning the big yellow section first, and I should end with the small yellow section. So I'm just winding this up, and this should be roughly, I think it's a little small, but roughly a 1 ounce bit of fiber. So I should be ready to spin that whenever I'm ready, and that's what it looks like. So this one is also ready to be wrapped up, and here's the small yellow section. So I'll go ahead and wrap that part up on the inside again. And This one I can definitely tell is bigger than the other one, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. And that's my second one. So here are my first two. And then I have my other half of the fiber, and I'm going to split it in half vertically. So here we go. There we go. So I have all 4 of my fiber balls. I can show you maybe. Here they are, all 4 of them, and they're ready to be spun. So my rate of spinning is roughly about 1 ounce per day when I'm spinning regularly. There are definitely days when I spin more than 1 ounce, and there are definitely days when I spin less than 1 ounce, or days when I don't spin at all. But my hope for this project would be that I would be able to spin it in about a week. So since it's 8 ounces of fiber, that I'd be able to spin it in a week. But we'll see. I don't know how quickly I'll be able to do it. I mean, I would really love to be able to spin it in a week because I'm hoping to finish my spin before like the end of this video, and I want to publish this video on Thursday. So, and it's Thursday today, so I need a week. So yeah, I am hoping I can get some spinning in this weekend. It is, like I said, it's Thursday today. Maybe I can do a little spinning tonight, and I will try to record some of my spinning so I can show you what that looks like as well, and you can see the wheel and everything. I have my wheel up here. I have another project on the wheel right now that I'm gonna pull off and start a new bobbin with this project probably today. And yeah, hopefully now that I'm done chatting and we're like 30 minutes in, I'll actually start the spinning and you can see the spinning. Hey folks, I am back again. This is Friday, so it's been a day since I last checked in about this project, and I had not started spinning yet, so I wanted to talk to y'all while I get started with the spin. So I'm sitting here with my wheel. I don't know, I will get it set up so that you can see my wheel in a little bit. This is, right now, this is it. I have a precarious setup here with my camera and my battery, so we'll see how well I do at this, but I am gonna go ahead and take out my bobbin that I had on the wheel. I was in the middle. I just finished spinning up the first 2 ounces of this cinnamon roll merino from Mitchell Wool Co. I shared about this in my last project update video, but I am going to go ahead and start the yarn jam spin before finishing this just because I'm anxious to get going on it. So I'll put that one to the side, and then I have a fresh bobbin here that I'm going to put on. I always have to make sure that I put it on the right way. Okay, so put that on there. I have 2 of these. I think they're called whirls. But I'm gonna do the smaller one for this because I think I will be cruising. I think I'll be spinning fast for this one. So I'm just getting my bobbin set up. I think I'm gonna start by spinning the braid that I divided into 2 sections, so the 2 ounce pieces first, just because I think that I like spinning the skinnier pieces a little bit better, so I want to save the best for last, I guess. It doesn't really matter, but I also am kind of hoping that I can spin 2 ounces today because I'm a little bit behind if I'm hoping to finish. I need to basically spin 2 ounces every day to get this done by when I was hoping to, because today is Friday and I would like to have it plied, like at the latest be doing my plying next Wednesday so that I can show y'all what it looks like plied and still edit my video and stuff and get that posted on Thursday. So we'll see. That would mean Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That'd be 5 days for the singles and then Plying on Wednesday. I mean, ideally I would finish before then so that I could wash it and dry it before then too. So we'll see. I'm just gonna do my best. So I do have a, what is it called? A leader, I think, on my bobbin. I just used some like white cotton thread that I ordered online, and I use that also to put the ties in my yarn when I'm finished with it. So you can see I have that just white cotton thread tie on the yarn as well. So now I just need to pull my fiber out and then I'll be ready to get started. So here's my first 2-ounce ball. And I am ready to go. So I'm going to reposition the camera so that you can see my hands rather than my face. And yeah, I may chat a little bit as I get started, but after that I will probably turn the audio off because I'm planning to watch Drive to Survive, the Formula One docuseries on Netflix, and it's probably not the most like calming thing if you want to, oh, sit with me while I spin, and it's like zoom, zoom. So I may switch off and like put some music on if I do like the spinning vlogging part. But I know some people do like pre-draft a little bit, so they'll kind of tug at their fiber. I don't actually know completely what pre-drafting entails because I don't know that I've ever really successfully done it, but I just spin straight from here. I don't do any kind of tugging or anything. So, okay, let me get set up so that you can see the wheel. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is necessarily the best angle, but here I am at my wheel. I spin on a shocked ladybug, which I absolutely love. And I had, like I mentioned, I have my leader here. I also have this little bag that I use that has my spinning wheel oil and my little orifice hook that I keep in it, and I just hang it on my peg here so I always have easy access to my orifice hook. So I'll just pull that right through. And then I am gonna start by spinning this, I think, on the larger of my 2 grooves for this whirl, but I'm not sure. I may change my mind at some point. I don't know, it probably is not the best to change it up in the middle of a project, but I think it's fine. So my drawback, I'm gonna try to set it not too strong just to start, and then I can add more tension later if I need to. And then I guess let me scoot this a little bit so you can see my hand, a little bit more of my hands. So okay, so I'm gonna start. I'll go clockwise is the way that I always do my singles, and then I do my Plying counterclockwise. So to get started, since I have this leader here, I have a little loop at the end, and I'll just take a little bit of the fiber from the end here and loop it through, and then I'm ready to go. So like I think I mentioned before, maybe I didn't, I'm gonna be spinning this short forward. So worsted, that's the drafting style I am the most comfortable with. I've used it for like 95% of my projects, but I'll just go ahead and get started. I am going to be spinning this, try to be spinning it at roughly a sport weight. So what I'll do is spin for a little while and get into a good rhythm. I think I don't remember the word. I'm bad with the spinning terminology. I think the back part of the legs of my wheel are hitting my tripod. So it's making a noise, but let's see if this is better. Yeah. Okay. So I have somewhat of a feel for how thin my singles need to be for a sport weight, but I still will kind of do a ply back test and eyeball it. So this is my ply back test. Maybe I can, I don't know if I can bring the camera closer so that you can see the ply back test a little bit better. Can you see? I don't know, I can't tell. Here, let me move my viewfinder. No, now it's upside down. Maybe you can see that a little bit. That's my ply back test. So that looks about right. I think the Shanico is really, really fluffy. So it may be a little thick, but I'm gonna go for roughly this thickness for my single, maybe a little bit thinner. And you can use tools for this. So I know people have little tools that you can use. You can put your single in. You can either do like a wraps per inch tool where you can, I can talk while I'm doing this. I don't need to. You can use a wraps per inch tool, which is just a little tool where you wrap your yarn around and it will tell you like what weight of yarn you have. I think normally you use that for plied yarns and not for singles. But then there are also like other tools that you can use that you can put your single in, like see how thick your single is, and it will tell you like how thick a 2-ply yarn would be, like what weight a 2-ply yarn would be, or a 3-ply yarn. And I actually have those tools, but honestly for me, I prefer to just do especially for a 2-ply, I prefer to just do the ply back sample and then, oh, is this too low? You can't really see my hands. Maybe that's a little better. I prefer to just do the ply back sample and then just kind of eyeball it. If I were really doing a good job here, I would probably be setting up a control card as well. Or, I mean, okay, if I was really doing a good job here, I would be spinning a sample. So that's something that I did for my sweater spin. I've only spun for a sweater once, and I did do a 1 ounce sample for that. But for this project, I just didn't feel like I needed to. So what I mean by sample is basically I took 1 ounce of fiber and I spun it and I measured it and I finished it and everything to make sure that I got the weight of yarn and the quality of the yarn that I wanted, and I got all the stats from that sample, and that gave me an idea, okay, if I spin the rest of the fiber this way, how much yarn will I have, and what will it feel like, and all that kind of stuff. But for this project, I didn't feel like I needed to sample. I could, as soon as I did my ply back and I was like, oh, I like this fiber, I feel like this is a good thickness, I could pull some off and put it just on like an index card so that next time I sit down to spin, this is a little bit, the drawback is a touch too high. I like my drawback, I do not like it to pull very hard at me. But anyway, if I had, next time I sat down to spin, I might then refer back to that card, that index card that I had. Normally what you would do maybe is put a little bit of your single and also a little bit of your ply back sample. But I am not doing that this time. I'm just spinning. This is roughly, I think, my kind of regular single. Oh, that part's a little thick. I'm actually gonna kind of pull that out a little bit. It's a little bit too thick. I love this yellow, this golden color too. Can you tell? It's basically the color of my couch. You probably can't see that very well, but this gold is so pretty. I mean, of course I love it. This fiber colorway was dyed with my colors in mind. So anyway, I don't remember what I was saying before, but I'm just gonna keep spinning here for a little bit and I'll probably turn the audio off and I'm gonna watch Drive to Survive. Tonight is the first OU football game, so I will probably do some spinning during that game, and I'm kind of hoping I can get through 2 ounces today, so I'll check back in next time and we can see how much I've done. Okay, I just finished my session for now. I made it almost all the way across the bobbin. I can try to show you what it looks like. So that was just, I don't know how long, maybe half an hour or so. Ooh, it's dark. There we go. So just made it across. I'm gonna go walk the dog now and then I'll probably do some more this evening. Okay, I did some more spinning during the football game. There's Norm over there. And I'm going to keep going some more. It's looking good. Hello, good morning. It is, well, it's morning for me. It is Saturday morning. I did finish my 2 ounces from yesterday. Let me show you. Let's see here. Yep. So this is what my bobbin looks like now. And I have, this morning we took Norman, our pup, to the park for a little morning run, and I played frisbee with my husband a little bit, and then came back and just did some house chores, started laundry and that kind of thing, and now I am sitting down to start my 2 ounces for today. So I have Meghan up on the screen, a Naughty Mess podcast. I've got Norman here with me. Norm? Hello. He's licking in his paws. And I'm gonna just do a little spinning this morning. Hello. It is Sunday afternoon, and I did finish my 2 ounces. So I finished my first bobbin of the Yarn Jam spin yesterday, last night. We had a fun evening kayaking and went out to dinner and then came back and I finished up my spin in the evening. So I am gonna start my second bobbin today. Here I'll show you what the first bobbin looks like. There it is. And yeah, I've got just 4 ounces left, so I'm hoping I can maybe spin 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces today and then finish up in the next couple days. Okay, I just finished spinning my first ounce. I think it was actually a little more than 1 ounce. I do have fuzz all over my legs and everywhere. And I will maybe try to at least start my next ounce today, this evening. Yeah, progress is good. Hello. It is Tuesday. Weekend just finished. It was Labor Day yesterday, and I wanted to update you on where I am at on my Yarn Jam spin. I am hoping to finish my singles today, if that's possible. It was kind of a busy, I guess not super busy, but we did quite a bit of things over the weekend, so I did not get 2 ounces spun over the last 2 days. We had our fantasy football draft. I went and I had knit night with some friends. So just like a couple of things that, oh, and also we have been trying to hang everything up in our house. So hanging shelves, and I hung the calendar and instruments, and actually I guess I can give an update on what my kind of craft room is looking like right now. Maybe I should do that. So I'll go down and show y'all how that is doing. Also did a big plant project this morning. I have been having a little bit of like a gnat issue with my plants, and I decided to just repot them all like in the same pots but with new soil. So I did that this morning. You can see them here. I'll show you. They're all still outside right now until I can get a handle on the gnat situation. So here they all are. They all have, oops, I stepped on something weird. They all have new soil. So hopefully that will help. But anyway, I hung a mirror, which I'm very excited about. So I have a full-length mirror in this room now. I guess I should still keep this horizontal. So I have a full-length mirror, which I'm very excited about. I have my yarn cabinet, which I've shared on a previous video. And then we have the piano and my instruments hung. Oh, I don't know if it's focusing properly. There we go. And then there's a lot of cardboard and styrofoam and stuff that needs to be taken. I learned from my friends last night to the transfer station. So I'll try to do that hopefully in the next week or so. But anyway, so lots of like working on house stuff. Oh, also, I don't know if I showed this. This is my shelf with all my knits. How fun. Okay, going back upstairs. So, spinning wise, I have done, like I checked in a bit ago and showed that I finished my first bobbin. So I can show y'all that again. Let me set this down. Sorry. Point myself. I don't know where to point myself. Maybe this way. Okay. Okay. Also, we have a coffee table now. That's exciting. Okay. So this was the first bobbin. I love how it turned out. And then I'm working now on the second bobbin. And I have done, I think somewhere, this is probably like making people seasick because I'm moving the camera so much. But this is the second bobbin. So I've done over 2 ounces. I've done maybe 2.5 ounces. So this is all I have left. This one is 1 ounce. And then I have this one, which I've done like half of, maybe not half. I've done just over 2 ounces. So today, the hope is I can finish the singles because today's Tuesday. And then tomorrow, ply and wash would be the hope. So yeah, we'll see. I know by now, also when this video is posted, I will have already shared on Instagram some better photos of what my first yarn jam spin looks like. So the Gently Chaotic Knits colorway on the tweed base and what that is knitting up like. So you can check out my Instagram if you want to see that. And then, yeah, I'm just hoping I can finish this in time so that I can share this video with y'all before the drop on Friday. So yeah, and here's Norman also, if you would like to see him. Hi, buddy. Yeah, he came over because I think he wants to get on his bed underneath his blanket. That is a favorite of his. Okay, so I think that is all for now. I'm gonna do a little spinning. I don't think I showed much of my last part of the spin, so maybe I'll record a little now. I don't know if that part is fun to just like see me doing the same thing over and over, but I'll try to record a little bit of the spinning today, and then definitely we'll try to record some of the plying tomorrow. So chat with you then. Good morning. It is, what day is today? It's Wednesday, I think. Wednesday. I did a little bit more spinning yesterday and I did not finish my singles. I was really hoping to finish my singles and I didn't quite make it. So let me show you what I have left. Just this is maybe half an ounce, maybe a little more. And I can show you what my singles look like now. This is my second bobbin, and this is my first bobbin. So I just need to finish up this tiny bit. I'm still hoping to ply today. I really would love to ply and get the yarn in the bath today, but I'm not sure. I have never really known how important it is to let your singles rest. Have y'all heard of this before? There are some folks in the community that recommend once you finish your singles, you let them rest for at least a day before plying them. And I normally try to do that just because all else equal, like I might as well, it doesn't hurt. But I really was hoping to get this yarn plied today. So it is roughly 10 a.m. and I'm gonna try to just finish my singles right now. Just sit down and finish this. I think this is maybe like 30 minutes of spinning for me. And then wait as late as I can in the day to ply them. So still, hopefully I'm waiting like, I don't know, 6-8 hours. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be okay. I have had some people tell me also that they don't think it matters if you let your singles rest before plying them. So I'm gonna just split the difference and let them rest for like 6 hours maybe. So I'm gonna try to finish this. And yeah, I've been really enjoying this spin. I think the color changes are at a really good pace and the colors are really fun to me, and it feels like the color is actually perfect for this transition from summer to fall, because like that really rich red and the gold feel very fall, but the blue is still a little bit fun, and with the cream in there that kind of lightens it up. So I'm feeling like the color is perfect for this season. And I've been doing a lot of daydreaming about what colors I want to use for the Tesselated sweater. So yeah, I'm really excited with how this spin has been going. So I will do some more spinning and maybe I'll try to share a couple more clips of that. I don't know. I mean, I haven't edited this video yet, so I don't know. I'm just trying to take different angles sometimes, and I don't know how interesting it is to just like watch my wheel spin over and over. But yeah, I will hopefully be finishing my singles up soon, and then I will check back in before plying. Hello, I am back and I have my singles finished. So this was my second bobbin that I have now finished, and it is about 5 o'clock. And so these have been resting. Well, the first one's been resting for a couple days, but the second bobbin has been resting for about 6 hours now. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start plying. So I've got my, I'll try to show y'all. Well, first of all, I've got Norman hanging out here with me. I've got baseball on the TV. I've got my Lazy Kate ready, so I'm gonna put my bobbins on my Lazy Kate, and then I've got my new bobbin on the wheel that I'm going to ply onto. And I've got my tripod set up so that hopefully I can show y'all what that looks like. So once I get myself all set up, we'll get started. So I only have one free bobbin right now, so what I'm gonna have to do, since this is 8 ounces total, I'm gonna have to spin or ply up one skein, like fill my bobbin, and then I will have to wind it off, and then I will ply the second skein. I'm hoping, I don't know, I mean, plying goes so much faster than spinning singles, but I don't know how much faster it will go. I'm kind of hoping I can do this in the next, oh, shoot. Okay, sorry, I just forgot. I was supposed to start cooking some potatoes for dinner. So I'm gonna go do that actually right now, and then I'm gonna come back and ply while they're in the oven. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, potatoes are in the oven. You can see my messy kitchen because I'm anxious to start plying. I've got my bobbins in the Lazy Kate, and I am ready to get started. Okay, I have made it all the way across the bobbin. This is what we're looking at so far. I love how it's turning out. So cute. And I've barely made a dent in the bobbin, so continuing on now. Okay, it is now 9:30. We cooked and ate dinner, and then I finished plying my first bobbin. The light, of course, is not great right now because it's dark outside, but this is what the bobbin looks like. I do not think I am going to ply the second bobbin tonight. It is just kind of late and I'm tired of plying. So I'm going to wind this one off tonight, and then maybe tomorrow I will ply the other one. But I'm not sure if that will make it into the video or not. But hopefully I can get this one wound off. I can show it to y'all in better light tomorrow and get it in the bath. So yeah. Just finished winding onto the nitty knotty, and I'm so in love with how this turned out. I'm so obsessed with it. I need to go grab my cotton thread so I can tie it off and take it off of the nitty knotty, but I honestly thought that I was gonna like the confetti yarn better, but I think I might like this better. I cannot wait to see it tomorrow in the light. I keep thinking when I look at it that it looks like berries and mustard, which I know is like not a thing and would not be appetizing to eat, but it just looks to me like berries and mustard. And I really like it. I know the light is bad and you probably can't see it very well at all, but I really, really, really like it. So I'm gonna go grab my thread and then I'm gonna tie this off and take it off the nitty knotty. I'll show you again tonight what it looks like, but definitely will show you tomorrow in the light. Okay, so I got my little kind of cotton thread and I am going to do last time I cannot find the end. Last time when I tied off my handspun, I only did 2 ties and that was not enough. So I'm gonna do 3 this time, just to be really safe. I also used the ends of the yarn, like of the handspun yarn, for both of them. Like I don't think I used the cotton thread, and that was not the right call. So I'm gonna use the cotton thread you know, it's kind of nice just like not to have the look of the cotton thread attached to the yarn, like if I'm looking at it or taking photos or whatever, but not worth the mess that it was kind of like untangling it. So I normally do, I think they're called like figure 8 knots. I actually split my, you probably can't see what I'm doing. I kind of split my yarn into 3 pieces, and then I just kind of weave this cotton thread like over and under. Oh, you can't see again. Kind of over and under those pieces. This is an awkward angle, so I'm just gonna do it and I'll show you what it looks like. Because I don't want to mess this up. No strands going the wrong way, because that can also be annoying to deal with. So, okay, we're through, and then I just need to tie this off. Hopefully, I can tie that off nicely. Oh, y'all, I love this yarn. I love it. Definitely, I think the effect with the blue and the dark kind of Merlot red is almost this kind of, like I mentioned, kind of berry effect. It's almost like purpley, and I'm normally not a huge purple person, but I really, really love it. I really love it. Okay, and then where's the other end? Right here. So I'm gonna, oh, I told you I would show you this. Okay, so here's the tie. You can kind of see I have 3 sections, and then the white thread is kind of over and under woven around that. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, okay. Now I'm gonna do one more for the end, the other end, and then I'll do an extra one just in the middle. Oh, I kind of cut that short. That's okay. It will be fine. Okay. And the dark red by itself also. Honestly, I really enjoyed, like the barber pulling is really nice, but I actually really enjoyed the parts where the colors lined up, or because there's some just plain white, like cream in this braid as well. I liked the parts that were just the cream with one of the other colors. So like the cream and the mustard, like the cream and the dark yellow was that was like one of my very favorite parts when I was plying it. I just really liked that part. Okay, I'm getting this on here, and then it's not too short. Then I need to tie this. Scoot it up so it's a little easier to tie. Oh, I'm so ready to see this in the daylight too, but I will have to wait till tomorrow. Okay, that's 2, and then what's kind of in between these? Maybe over here. Excuse me. Okay. Let's do one more here. And then I will pull it off. I really wanted the yarn to look nice and plump, so I tried to put a lot of twist when I was plying it. So I know that when I pull it off of the, Nitty Naughty, it's gonna be like really twisty because I basically purposefully overplied it. This is like a newer thing that I have been doing for my last couple of spins. Basically, I just really want the yarn to look nice and plump, and I found that putting lots of extra twist in when you ply gives it that really, really plump look. And I think once you wash the yarn too, that really helps it seem like look more balanced. Okay, I've got my last tie in, so I'm gonna pull it off the Nitty Naughty, and it's definitely gonna twist up. Yeah, not too bad though. So here it is. When I hold it, it does. You can see it does twist a little bit, but look at that. I love it. Look at it. Wow. That is really pretty. I'm also really pleased with the consistency and the weight. I mean, there are definitely thinner parts and thicker parts, but I'm really happy with this. I think it is roughly a sport weight, which is exactly what I was shooting for. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see this in the light tomorrow. Holy smokes. Wow, live on camera, I'm reacting to how much I love this yarn. Ah, wow, I love it. Trisha gifted me 4 braids of this fiber, 2 of the confetti and 2 of the not confetti. And looking at this right now, I am like, do I need to buy more? Do I need to buy more? Because I really like it. Wow, and it feels so squishy and plump. Ugh, y'all, I'm so pleased with this. Okay, I'm gonna stop. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I still have some kitchen cleanup and other stuff to do. But I'm really glad I got this plied, and I am going to definitely show y'all some more tomorrow in the light, and then I'm gonna wash it. Yeah. Okay. I am signing off for tonight, and I will see you in the daylight tomorrow. Okay, I lied. I'm back because it's still Wednesday night. I'm back because I want to try to wash this tonight, actually, because I think if I put it outside, it'll dry quite a bit overnight, and then, yeah, I want to see it like relaxed tomorrow in the daylight. So I am going to do the washing now. I don't know how well I'll be able to show this. I have my tripod in my bathroom, so I'll bring you a little bit closer. I'm not sure how I'll be able to do this, but is this maybe somewhat? I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna fill my bucket. I use a bucket. You can use whatever. You probably know how to do this, but I'm just going for like lukewarm water. There it is. It's too hot already. And then I'm just gonna toss my yarn in and my wool on. And okay. That was probably just, you couldn't hear me, and that was probably just a view of my butt. But here, I'll put this up here, and then maybe you can see it a little bit, but basically the yarn is here. I have like lukewarm water that I put wool wash in. This is the wool wash I use, soak. I use the wild mint scent. And then I just kind of gently pressed the yarn down into the water. So it is soaking now. I will leave this probably for at least like half an hour. I like to leave it until the water has completely cooled before taking it out. And then I will come back and there are like a series of words that people use, like thwack it and smack it and whip, I don't know all the words then, but basically I'll just kind of, I think, is it thwack or the one where you go like this with it? But I'll do that, and then I will probably put it outside to dry. And hopefully it'll be dry enough tomorrow that I can show you and see it. I didn't want to wash this one before I had the second one ready, but I just can't wait. I'm very impatient. So anyway, that is, well, I was gonna say that's it for tonight, but I maybe will try to record when I like pull it out of the water and everything. So I'll be back then. Hello, I'm back and I'm squatting in my bathtub, and my yarn has been soaking for maybe 30 or 45 minutes. So I'm gonna pull it out now. Here it is. And I'm just gonna squeeze it. Okay, and then hopefully I can use my ties to grab it. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, so here it is. Still quite wet, but that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna squeeze it kind of down the length just to get some more of the water out. Okay, and then one more time, just squeeze all the way down to try to get the water out. I'm kind of squeezing water all over my bathroom. Okay, I probably should have scooted the camera back so that you could see more of me maybe. Okay. So now, hello. Now I am going to do this number kind of like that a couple of times. I don't really know like how much this helps or how many times you're supposed to do it or anything, but I just have heard that it's a good thing to do. And then some people I think also kind of like smack it up against the wall. I don't really know. Where does this strand go? Okay, this way. I think some people, yeah, kind of just do this a couple times and then smack it. Just, I don't know. But now I will take it outside to dry overnight. So we'll check on it in the morning. Okay, y'all, it is time. It is not the morning. Today is Thursday, and I'm outside to take a peek at this yarn. I will say it is like 2:30. I did take a peek already this morning, but I didn't record that because it was still kind of dark outside and the yarn was still pretty wet, but it's pretty much dry now and I want to show you. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Focus on it. My mouth is in the way. There we go. Look at how stunning this yarn turned out. I am head over heels. I'm just so happy with it. I think it's so beautiful. The balance of the colors I think is so perfect. I think that the cream in there just gives everything a really great balance. And like I mentioned last night, it feels very much like berries and mustard to me. My friend Maya mentioned maybe peanut butter and jelly if you want to have a less gross food analogy. But like, look at this lighter blue section, and the yellow, like the mustard, is so good, and I'm in love with it. So I don't think that, I think this is the end. I don't think I'll have time to like knit any of it up or anything because I am trying to post this video actually today. This morning I spent some time editing this video actually, which is, I don't know, kind of meta. I actually showed, hopefully it's in the video, I showed a little bit of my process editing, and I was actually knitting on my shawl that I'm making out of the confetti version of this yarn. I don't know if y'all can hear me pretty well. Maybe we should go inside. Now that this yarn is mostly dry, I can take it inside. So I've pretty much finished editing the video. Here's what it looks like indoors with some indirect natural light. Gorgeous. Here, maybe, because this is the window, so I should point this way. And then you can see it. Look at it. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Y'all. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. So, okay. Like I was saying, I spent this morning trying to kind of, I can point this up a little bit so that you can see my face. That's a little too high, and now I have glasses glare. I don't know. We're doing our best. I spent this morning trying to edit together the clips for this video, and hopefully I can get them all finished, get these last couple clips in, and share it with y'all today, because tomorrow is the release of the colorway. So I'm gonna put the discount code up on the screen again here. If you're interested, I believe that tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific in the US, is when the collection will go live, and I'll have a link in the description box with the website. This is all from yarnjam.com. And so if you get on right then, you can probably get some of the in-stock fiber, because I know Trisha said she has already dyed some fiber up in anticipation of the release. So there's going to be some fiber that is in stock and like ready to ship, but she is also planning to do a pre-order once that sells out. So don't worry about it if you don't get on there right away, or if you're still thinking about it, you're deciding or whatever, that's totally fine. You can go later. I think it's going to be open until the end of the month, open until September at least, and I think that's how long the discount code is valid as well. So you can go, yeah, you can go on the website anytime in the next few weeks and grab some of this fiber. You should also check out the colorways from the other folks in the collection, and again, my discount code Gently Chaotic Knits does work for any of the colorways in the podcaster collection. I know I've just been like noodling on this a little bit. I think that color preference and like knowing your color palette is such a personal thing, and so it's almost scary to, I don't know, I mean, it's not scary, but sharing that with others does feel like kind of personal. And I know that my colors are not necessarily always the same colors that everyone else loves. So just, I don't know, thinking about it that way and sharing this, I'm hopeful that there are like some of you out there that look at this colorway and think, oh, I really love that. That feels like me. And I hope that you get some of the fiber and then we can match, because I would really love that. And I hope that this colorway that we kind of created is, I don't know, speaks to you in some kind of way. And if not, no worries, but I just really, really love it. And I love my berries and mustard yarn. So it kind of, I don't know, I feel like it kind of matches my spin cycle that I have in this top as well. Anyway, stay tuned for what I'm going to knit with this yarn. I still have another skein to ply, which I have not plied yet today because it's been kind of busy. Like I said, I was editing, I went for a run, took a shower, made lunch, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I still need to ply the second skein for this. And then I am, like I said, I'm wanting to make the Tessellated Pullover. I am leaning toward doing kind of like a navy maybe as the main color. I think that would be really, really pretty with this. And also navy feels like it just walks the line between neutral and also giving you a little bit of something that I think would be really beautiful with this color and also make it really wearable. So I'm leaning toward doing some sort of navy as the, I could do charcoal too, something like that for the main color, and then we'll see what I decide for the fluff other contrast color as well. But I am potentially going to be looking at that, looking for yarn for that at Sacred Sheep, which is the first weekend in November in Portland, Oregon, that I am planning to go to. So there are a couple of vendors there that I know have yarns that would work well for that sweater. So it may be a while before I get the other yarn and I cast it on, but I will definitely finish my second skein of this so I can bring it with me to Portland. And yeah, I just really love it. I can't stop showing it to the camera because of how beautiful I feel like it is. I love it. So that's a wrap on deep dive attempt number 1. Y'all should let me know if you liked this format for a video. It was sometimes a little wild, I feel like at times, just a little bit more of a peek into my life and into my process, not a full like vlog style. I cannot believe how squishy this is. Y'all need to, if you're a spinner, please try Shanico. I cannot stop squishing it. Okay, sorry. What I was saying is I think it is a little bit more of a peek into my process and like a little bit into my life as well, just because I was recording more during the week. So if you like that kind of thing, or if this makes you think of other types of videos you'd be interested in, definitely let me know, because yeah, I love to hear y'all's ideas. And that is that. That's a wrap on Deep Dive Yarn Jam. So I hope that you find something that you like from the collection, and I will talk to you probably in a normal project update video next week. Bye.